A very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to ELITETV and you're watching the Open Debate in English. I'm your host, Chongtham, Amrita, and today we're going to be discussing and debating on the topic, the self-destruction of Manipur. Our external enemies cannot destroy us, but the enemy within can. Let us reflect on our surroundings and compare them to what lies within us. The internal issues in our society cause us the most pain and headaches. Political life has reached its lowest point. The state's economy is virtually non-existent and corruption has become rampant. In all spheres of society, there are countless of narratives, each pushing their own agenda, yet we cry for unity. A weak animal like a mouse perceives numerous mortal enemies, and similarly we, especially the Métis, see enemies everywhere. Our current mindset is one of those that says enemies all around us. However, it is the enemy within us, primarily in our minds, that is leading to the self-destruction of our society. Time-tested social institutions and the belief systems are being systematically dismantled, even as we frequently discuss the idea of Manipur, and this is the paradox that we see today. To discuss and debate on this matter, let us take a moment to introduce and welcome our panelists. Our first panelist for tonight is Socio Rinku Khumukcham, editor, Imphal Times. Socio, welcome to Open Debate. Our second panelist for tonight is renowned socio-political commentator, Ojapi Sonamani Pabung. Welcome to Open Debate.
Oh, thank you so much, Amrita.
And our third panelist for tonight is Oja N.G. Shantikumar, Professor of English, Hungkou, Delin University, joining us from Taiwan. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
A very good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you all. Now let's start the debate right away. I'll start with Oja Rinku first. I'll come to you first. The thing I want to know from you is that the political life in the state has become one of the lowest today. Because we speak of this because politics seems to play a major role in our self-destruction, because we see that greed and dishonesty has dominated many of our politicians, and they are also seen to be taking self-interest before anything else. So my question is, how did we become like this? How did we end up? What went wrong in the middle? What shaped us to be in this sort of situation? And is there any way that we can reverse this or even remedy this? Your thoughts? Socio, you are on mute. Can you please unmute and start again?
First of all, I thank you for asking that question, but it's a very serious question, and it's a very, it's not very easy to answer that question also. We already know that state is run by a way of politics, a politics that is a civilized politics that has to be. And when it comes about politics, India is a democratic country. We have a multi-party system. I think you are talking about politics and the government. That is what is happening in the government, and not that politics of life. I don't think that it's not about the normal politics that we are following in our day-to-day life. But what you are referring to is regarding the politics that is happening, regarding the politics in the government. Definitely, there is something seriously wrong in the politics that has been practicing by most of the ruling government and the opposition government, or opposition parties. So there seems to be a serious wrong in the system. To start with, begin with the electoral system. You'll see how our election conducted in the state of India, in the country of India. So it is a fast past the post election. Yeah. Say someone from the constituency, if he have to win, that sometimes out of a 30 in Manipur, you say, in a assembly constituency, there are around 30 voters are here. 30,000 voters are here. Out of these 30,000 voters, if there are as many as 5 or 6 candidates in the same assembly constituency at the time of election, then a person who get a maximum number, that is around, if he or she got just around 8 to 6 or 4,000, then sometimes they win the election. It doesn't matter, it certainly shows that, he is not the electorate of, he is not the, MLA of all the 30,000 people, because he got nearly 8,000 people and then he got elected, and the rest of the, is the majority. Even 2 or 3 times more people are against him. So it started from here.
Right.
That is the electoral system in the state of India. It is the main. These are the main causes that has been making the politician thinking about winning this election and forgetting the commitment that they have given. So to be very frank, what is happening in the state of Manipur today is also the fallout of what the actions of those MLAs or ministers whom we have elected and all the members of the assembly constituency whom we have elected to rule our state. So when these people whom we have elected and sent up, when they lack the idea of the concept of the very knowledge of running the government, then it definitely will give impact to the society.
Right.
So when the ministers or when the MLAs concentrate their minds to earn their to make their to invest to strengthen their power as well as to make money and to gain more money from thikas and all, then what actually mindset of the MLAs and the ministers, these are the causes that is happening. These are the things. No, these are the the things that is going on. We have been seeing in the state of Manipur, and because of this, they sometimes forget that they are supposed to make legislation. They are supposed to strengthen the state of Manipur. They are supposed to run a good government in the state. This kind of thing, they have already almost forgotten it, and their mind has been concentrated on how to make more money with when they are in power, and without simply thinking. And they sometimes don't have a long-term plan also. Suppose if a government has been installed and if there is a strong government here in the state of Manipur, then they would have definitely do something, and their aid would have prevented this kind of things that have been haunting us since the last 14 months. Manipur has been in fire since last 14 months, and then we are here stranded in the valley region these are the fallout of the action of the politician who are playing politics to garner more powers. So definitely you have rightly questioned that is this the end of us? No, this is not the end. But it's a beginning to start learning about the behavior, about the mentality, about the commitment, about the integrity of our so-called cabinet ministers or the men in the government or MLAs or the opposition. These are collective efforts. So almost everywhere there is something seriously wrong going on, and then something seriously going on. And I believe that the government that the kind of election, the kind of government that we have been following is the framework of the mainland politician. Right. That is that before the merger of Manipur to the Indian Constitution, already they have made the Constitution of India, and there is no such thing that which could be adopted in this region also in Manipur, because Manipur was never discussed. There were discussion about Manipur to the inclusion of India during the Constituent Assembly debate in the Parliament, but still then it's aligned to us that the way the system they have installed there, the societal structure of Manipur is very different from the societal structure of Bihar or UP or any other state. So Manipur, without in the making of the constitution, in the making of the election process or anything, Manipur was never a part, and we never discuss about Manipur. So especially when it comes to Manipur, the system that they follow and is very hard to adapt here in this soil. So it's a complete failure, and then inside of the political parties or inside of the politicians, and sometimes there are good politicians also, but this system, they cannot escape from this system. So definitely they lack commitment. These are the causes. These are the things because these are the things happening because of their aid.
Okay, Rinku, but how do you think that we can mitigate or remedy this system that have been prevailing for such a long time? Do you think that we can make a course correction in this regard?
Definitely, we can about the system I'm talking about. There need to be a revolution all across the India. You know, some of the senior citizens, including Tamo here, senior SP Tamo is here. Including them, they have been campaigning about the electoral reform in the state of India. So when there is an electoral reform, certainly there will be a change to how how the mindset of the politicians should be. These are the things, and unless and until there has been a complete change in the electoral system that is happening in India, there is fast past the post, make one corrupt more. This system make an elected person more corrupt than what he was before. That thing need to be corrected, and that thing need to be debated in the higher level, not in the state of Manipur also, not only in the state of Manipur, but also in Delhi also. Definitely, many senior citizens from across the country are campaigning for reform of the electoral reform across the India.
Very strong point that we do need to reform the electoral politics that's prevailing since the beginning of the India's independence, and how that has affected the politics of the region, because since the politicians want to stay in the power, so it becomes a norm for politicians to just look for the next election and try to maintain their power. Now, moving on to Pabung Sonamani, I'd like to come to you with my next question, and please supplement to our first panelist as well, that the economic situation of Manipur is completely failed now. Now, the COVID pandemic in the 2020s has already made a lot of business close shop. And now, because of the ethnic violence, Manipur, a lot of small businesses have already closed their shop and have completely rooted up the small business economy. And in this regard, we don't see much active actions from the government as well to revive the economy. So my question to you is, Pabung, what is the agenda of both the state and the central government, since the budget session of the new government is also starting today? Please tell us your expectations, and how can we revive the Manipur's economy?
Amrita, good evening to you, and I express my gratitude to your ELITETV, your managing director Srijit, my most bosom friends, the Mr. Dr.
We seem to have an issue
Dr.
from
Santi,
the...
Dr. Santi,
Okay.
and another my colleague about editor. He him and around the world who is watching, I bow my head to you, all of you. Amrita, this is something a Himalayan task of what you have raised.
Yes.
You see, Manipur in the economic side, we are the third position in the poorest state in the country. Corruption side, if not number one, somewhere second, third, we have occupied our position. This is really wonderful thing. People try to occupy when we were studying, everybody was studying, everybody expected who will be the number one in the class, who will be the number two, number third. These are the positions people used to fight normally. Today, from the opposite side, Manipur, the rampant corruption. This is just, it is in our blood, people talks, and if I'm even correctly understood. See, wherever you go without corruptions or without money, our leaders and our, what I will call it, who are the functionaries today, what they claim themselves that they are going to shape Manipur a new Manipur, or they will try to build up a new Manipur. The moment election is over, you go to their offices, they will be reluctant to meet you. They will not be easy to, they will not be ready to listen that your proper advice or request without money, money, money. Manipur is the most corrupted state. I don't know about in the world, but at least in India, we are happy that we are number one or two or third, somewhere we are hanging around now. You see that democratic countries like in India, we took so many things. It is written very wonderfully, all the Indian constitutions, everything, very nice. The moment you talk about the Manipur, what kind of a constitutions we are following of Indian government? Are we following our own constitutions that are still when we were an independent country? You go to school, there is a corruption. You go to college, there is corruption. What do you mean by in school and college? When we were in 1960s beginning, question did not arise what is called the corruption in the school and the college. If I'm allowed to say, just from the beginning, let me say one word. We are hearing persistently from the various people, coaching classes, teachers are normally, I am not defaming those teachers who are coaching our students or our grandchildren, we are not coaching them. But many of them, we are hearing it. They themselves before the exam, they will pass on their questions so that their students, they never get failed in their life. Then what kind of the teaching they are receiving or education from the teacher? This has become a phenomenon now. Now that's why many people are going on, the children are being pushing so that my children gets a good mark, so that he gets a good sabasi or a bravo from the teacher or from the school, leaving aside that from the beginning, from the grassroots level, how that education is to receive and what is called education right from the class A onwards. This kind of principle have totally gone now. We have turned into a different, we are in a competition now. You conduct any exam, what they call it SSC, you call it the MPSC, you call it the departmental anything, appointment matter, election, what is called selection matter, and transfer matter, everything without money. Nobody is ready to talk today in Manipur. No staff is doing 99.99% staffs are without, what I'll call it, that without paying or without getting. What paying, what getting, that we do not know. Everybody knows it. It may not be very proper to spell out in this, the open debate. But if this is the system from the top, if the country or if the state, head of the state or head of the country is to be, if someone claims, I say the word claim, that's why I said, if they say that I am the leader of this house, or I am the leader of the state, or I am the chief minister of the state, or I am the head of this department, one has to be a clean man. This clean man alone, one man will not get it. Will not be able to function it, because he will be swallowed it like a bee. So they will swallow it, because it is in our blood now. This corruption should be a subject in the Manipur education right from the class 4, 5 onwards. How to get rid of? See, this corruption starts from my home. I am being a father. My wife and myself will try to see that my children, in lieu of pursuing them, you study hard, you read hard, you must these things, helping to my children to grow up in a very proper and systematic way, rather than no, I must buy some fees, I must go and adjust and put it, in the house of my teachers, of my tuition teacher. This has become a system like this. See the corruption. So this corruption, who are teaching it? Right from the beginning, not from the below. It's from the top. I said, let me set example. No, the Congress rule, we have seen it. I am not defaming Congress. All countries are not bad. There are so many good things. There's so many good people, so many ministers. We have seen it. There were so many, the different type is there. But I have seen one party during my career, last 40 years, and the last 1950s beginning onward. From Manipur, one hero today we worship. We call it today Luching Purel. Who is the Luching Purel? Hijam Erabot. I am so fortunate enough. Luching Purel Hijam Erabot, 1943, 44, 45, end of the 45. He was in my home. My uncle late, a communist diehard, when he was forbidden to enter Jiribam, so he had to stay in the Lakhipur or in Kachar or in Assam area. So he had taken shelter in my poor hut there. And he used to group me up. But today, even after his last breath, this Luching Purel, the Hijam Erabot, is being worshipped in the world by Manipuris. Why our politicians? Today the chief ministers, today a lot of the, in a very higher positions, they were there, they are here, there will be, why nobody talks about them?
Yes, Pabung, that is also indeed a very important thing that you're raising. But I would like to bring you back to my question earlier regarding the revival of the economy of the state, because we have seen that the COVID pandemic has already destroyed half of the economy, and now because of this ethnic violence, our economy is extremely struggling. And on top of that, there are various extortions taking place, and not just in the highways, but we see that extortions are taking place in all the shops that are opened in the valley itself. So is there any way that the government can see this as a big issue and try to revive the economy, or try to at least make the small businesses thrive, at least in Imphal?
Yeah, there are so many ways, there are various ways. Subject to the leaders who are ruling today, who are in a very high chair and a cushy chair, their initiative, simply by issuing order in the paper, nothing is going to happen. Because he himself, say example, B.C. Rai, Bidhan Chandra Rai, he was the chief minister of the West Bengal, such a huge, thickly populated, and the politics began from the West Bengal, East Bengal and West Bengal. That was called the Bengal. See, even as a chief minister of West Bengal, such a huge, lakhs, crore people are there. On Sunday, on holidays, he is being a doctor. He used to invite the patients to come to his house. He used to examine, he used to provide the medicines from his salary. Today, you go to the Manik Shah earlier, he was there. See, he was there about Manik Sarkar. He was about 20 years as a chief minister. How he has developed the entire Tripura, and completely, even as a chief minister, he could not have one house even. He is occupying a house from the present Manik Saha, the BJP government chief minister. He had expressed that I have no house. So whatever he had earned, he had given to the people. Now today Tripura is from Manipur more than 200, 300 times, has completely changed. Why? Leadership, cleanness, leadership initiative, leadership should be active in all respects. If the leadership, head of the government or the head of the department, if they're clean, I can assure you, Miss Amrita, my daughter, I say very frank, I say very emboldenedly that he is additional director, he is joint director, he is deputy director. Nobody will dare to play any foul. If the head is creating some problem, everybody up to the peon. It is in every sector, it is in our blood now. To change completely this system may not be possible at this juncture. But our newborn children has to be taught that corruption is a subject in Manipur, how to root it out and how to bring it in Manipur a clean state. This will take time. Yes, under the cover of COVID-19, what Manipur has government done it? Nothing. Government of India, every requirement, COVID-19, all sort of medicines is being provided. A separate sale has been, yes, Manipur, we have a lot of physicians. During the COVID-19, a lot of services have done. Yes, I agree with that. That for the survival, they have done it, Manipur government, with the full assistance. But our doctors, they have also worked very hard. Our nurses, they have also very hard. That's why, when you see comparatively in the COVID-19, the percentage of the death is much below than to the national standard that we have done in Manipur government. But all these medicines, all this requirement, everything 99.99 were being funded, were being sent, were being airdropped, were being given to the Manipur. So Manipur government, because of our sincerity, because of our active, their role, a pivotal role played by the Manipur doctors, I salute all of them, and all the nurses, we were survived. That COVID-19, of course, it is not only in India, throughout the world, economic conditions were deteriorated, lot of things. But Manipur, what is the prediction? As good as zero. 99.99% our budget is being rather prayed, not us. We claim that we are a state, we have every right to state, to demand to the government of India. In return to that, why we are returning to the government of India? This is also, we must think it over. We should not become a beggar. Whenever our leaders goes to Delhi, people have a notion, oh, Manipur people, other state people, many people have come. They've come simply to back the money, or rather to get the more fund. Why you need the more fund? When you seek more fund, when you bring it the more fund, then Manipur should develop. Manipur should have developed more and more and more. What we have given to the government of India? Zero. Then we solely depend on India government. India government gives whatever demand. We place it. Then we should also respect to the India government. India government should not be allowed to possess an idea that, oh, Manipur ka bhikhari aa gaya and Manipur beggar have come to Delhi. This kind of a notion should not be allowed to prevail with them. So, number one,
Indeed,
in
yes.
Manipur, we do not want any politics. Corruption should be rooted out. This should be the slogan. This should be the principle. This should be taught in the school, colleges, and from the home.
Yes, yes, Babung, you mentioned a very good point regarding that the ministers from Manipur always goes to the center regarding to beg for money, for funds, and that is the only thing that that how the central leaders views the leaders from Manipur. So I'll put that on hold because that is interesting, because we will put that for further discussion in our program today. But now moving on to our third panelist, I'll come back to you again, Pabung, with this point. Now I'll go to Shantikumar regarding this issue, this topic that first we have discussed regarding the political aspect contributing to the self-destruction of Manipur, and we have just heard from Pabung regarding this self-destruction of Manipur from the economic sense. And now I'd like to raise an issue from the societal perspective and how it is contributing to the self-destruction of Manipur, because there are so many sections in a society. There are so many groups, civil society, so many spheres that are very important in the functioning of the society, and we see that they all raise very different voices, and the narratives are all different. The thing is that we all want a united Manipur. They also raise the slogans for a unity in Manipur, yet they find it very difficult to unite among themselves. So we find this very contradicting, and there is indeed a paradox here, and this infighting within the society or even in the Imphal Valley itself is also one of the contributing factor that I think to the self-destructing of Manipur. So in that sense, I'd like you to put your thoughts on that.
Yeah, every CSO and every organization and every groups, student unions, political leaders, they're all talking about the unity of Manipur, the integrity of Manipur, the idea of Manipur. But yeah, the biggest problem is, even though we talk so much about unity, so much about keeping the integrity of Manipur, still we are so divided by our thoughts, different narratives from different organizations, from different clubs, from different politicians, from different political parties, and from experts' views and opinions. I think we lack the sense of patriotic. I think in Manipur, what we need to have is the real sense of patriotic, the real sense of love for this land. If we have the pure love, the passion, the love of this land, I think we cannot be controlled by corruption. We cannot be controlled by, lying, and we cannot be controlled by many other vices. I mean, if we have the real love for this land, if we really have the sense of belongingness to this land, I think we all will do good. For example, let's say, just to mention one politician, a recent politician, I would like to mention his name, MP Bimol. I feel, and before he was elected as the MP, I was talking about him, I was writing about what would be the qualities and the qualification of an MP representing Manipur. It doesn't matter, inner or outer, but I gave some qualifications, and he had that, and I knew that time he had, but I was just worried if he would be elected, because because as he belonged to the Congress, he was in the opposition. Congress was not strong, opposition not strong as opposition, so I was worried if he would be elected. But what I like to tell here is he has the sense of belongingness to Manipur, even though he stayed outside like me working in Delhi. He was trying to do the best to correct, to give the right message to the international and national media. Number one, by using his skills, by using his knowledge. And then, as an MP leader, he has the gut to stand in public and say what he wanted to say. He did that in the parliament recently at 12 o'clock midnight. Then he also has the knowledge about what is going on around in the area in our state Manipur and the surrounding areas like other countries, Myanmar and China. He knew what is going on, what was going on. And then he also has the feeling, the sorry feeling of the people who are suffering in the relief camps and outside the relief camp. Not only in the relief camps, people actually, everyone is suffering from this crisis, from this conflict between Kukis and Meitei. So, if our leaders have this kind, it doesn't matter if they are political leaders, if they are CSO leaders, civil organization society leaders, or they are students club leaders, student union leader, it doesn't matter. Or if they are contractors, or if they are businessmen, it doesn't matter. If all of us have this kind of love, passion, and belongingness to this land, I think we will do great. We will do great in every field. One example I will give you here. Why these Olympians, why these sportsmen can do so much for our land, our state? Why? Why? They're not rich. They're not really talented people. I mean, educationally, they are not really high, and they are not rich, and they're not politicians. But as a simple sportsman, they do so well. Why? Number one is they like to bring something. They like to show to the people of Manipur, to the people of India, that we can do, we can win. And this is called a sense of belongingness to Manipur and to India. Because of that sense of belongingness, they do so well, even though they suffer so much financially, economically, through transportation, Even now, in the last 14 months, Manipuri athletes are still doing very well. But why not these politicians? Why not these civil organizations? Because they lack the sense of belongingness. So we need to have this sense of belongingness to every one of us, and we should try in whatever field we are working. We should have that chance, and then we should do, and everything will be fine. And before I end my presentation, I just would like to supplement or complement Rinku and Sonamani's point. Rinku mentioned about the electoral system, the failure, the total failure of electoral system in India and as well as in Manipur. Of course, India has to change the electoral system. Unless they change this electoral system, I think the political scenario will be chaos. And this democracy will never be a fully democratic country. It's a shame that we pronounce and we announce to the world, oh, we are the biggest democracy in the world. But are the politicians really following the democratic rules in the electoral system? No. What about in economy system? No. Nothing is followed. They use democracy to eat money to do corruption. So what about here? So here, I like to mention this. In the Far East countries like Taiwan and South Korea and Japan and Hong Kong and Singapore, you see here those corrupted leaders, how these corrupted leaders are punished. Do we punish even one chief minister or even one prime minister in India? Forget about prime minister, even one cabinet minister. Let's ask this question. But what about in South Korea? 4 presidents have been put to prison for money scandal, for corruption. And in Taiwan, one president, Chang Choi-pien, he was punished in jail for 20 years for money scandal. And recently in this month, in the month of May, just the previous month, our ex-vice premier, he is put into jail for corruption, for bribing money, for taking money, for giving money. So what about punishing those leaders, those corrupted leaders in India or in Manipur? No, we use democracy just to protect them, to let them eat money, to do corruption so freely, so openly. For example, in Manipur, if they like to recruit teachers or lecturers or professors or any job, they can openly ask money. How dare they do this so openly? 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 70 lakhs. Oh my goodness, I cannot imagine. So what about, so until and unless we have the system, we have the justice to punish these corrupted leaders, Indian democracy will be just a name on the paper. It won't be the real democracy. So I will just put this way in the first round. Amrita?
Yes, thank you for your inputs. Now I'm moving on to Rinku again. I'll come back to you in the next round again. So Rinku, Sonamani also previously mentioned regarding this, the ministers from Manipur, whenever they try to visit the center and meet the leaders of the central leadership, that what they do is they usually ask for funds. And there is also on record, former Union Home Secretary Sri G.K. Pillai had also stated on record, he said that whenever any ministers from Manipur, they come to Delhi, this is what they do, and they rarely discuss regarding state issues. So in this, if this is the norm, then how can the central leadership take the ministers or any MLAs from Manipur seriously? And in that case, how can we also take our MLAs seriously if that is the case? And also, if we want to change that perception, what can we do? What are your thoughts?
Actually, what Mr. J.K. Pillai was a former secretary in the Home,
yes, Home Secretary.
National Security Advisor, I think. So actually what he told during a seminar that the ministers from Manipur used to come, and it is in another sense what he was trying to say is that ministers from there came to beg money from center and just returned it after getting the money. This is the real, I think this is the thing that he wanted to tell. He wanted to focus, he wanted to highlight to the people who are listening to him. This was a long time back. That statement itself come up recently in the social media, but that statement was given some long time back, and I think what he told was true, because what he was trying to tell to the people in another sense is also that elected people or ministers from the state of Manipur come to the center, not to discuss about the real issues, about the political issues, about the welfare, about the policy program or anything like that. That is, about Manipur. But they come here to ask money. That is what he wanted to tell to the people. That actually, he was right in one sense, but it will be exaggerated to say that ministers and ministers from the state of Manipur only come for money. Ministers and chief ministers or anybody from the state, they went to the center to apply for projects and to sanction more money for the state of Manipur, because Manipur completely dependent to the center's money. Without the without the financial aid from the central government, Manipur is nothing. There can be no development work here in the state of Manipur. Nothing will be there. So in one sense, J.K. Pillai was trying to focus that, trying to highlight that MLAs and minister don't bother about the issues that is happening here in the state of Manipur. For example, he was trying to focus about the insurgency issues, how to end the insurgency issue. There was no discussion about this among the MLAs. That was what he was trying to say, because in that speech, if you listen whole part of the speech, then he will justify why the rebellion, why the insurgency movement emerges here in the state of Manipur. He said that it was wrong. It was somewhere in a part of the government of India there was something wrong. He definitely mentioned about the merger agreement, and then he talked about merger agreement. He talked many important things about the state of Manipur. None of the MLA, none of the ministers, or none of the chief minister from the state of Manipur had ever gone to the Delhi and had ever confronted with the Union Ministry or Union Home Ministry or somewhere or the Prime Minister regarding the issue of merger agreement, which is the root cause of what has been happening in the state of Manipur. So when ministers who are responsible for everything, who are responsible to bring development in the state, when they are reluctant to put up the matters which is the real issue. When I talk about real issues, it is the issues about the insurgency movement. How the insurgency movement started here in the state of Manipur. We already know that at the time of Hizam Irabot, Hizam Irabot was against the against the monarchy, and then he was very much in support of the democratic form of government. But still, then after the merger of Manipur, he again continued his movement because he don't want Manipur to be a part of India, because the way that they have merged, annexed Manipur in one term, I can say that annexed Manipur, because it was published those days in this long times also. Manipur was annexed by India. That was the word heading that was put in the newspaper. So the issue, the core issue, when I say about core issue, about the insurgency movement happening here, then it is the merger issue that has to be discussed. How the mergers had happened, and if there is something, illegal activities, illegal, we were the then nominal head of the state, Maharaj Buddhachandra Singh, was forced to sign the merger agreement under duress. This was what all the historian has been telling, and this was a fact that people understand. And that very signing of the merger agreement under duress at Shillong Red Land, that is the root of what is happening in the state of Manipur. Plus another thing that what J.K. Pillai had told in his speech is that the way that Manipur was merged, and then the way that India government put Manipur as a Part C state, besides being a Manipur was the second Asiatic nation to have a elected government after Philippines. That was known to everyone, and that kind of nation state, which had a legitimate government formed by elected by the people of Manipur, that was put down to Part C state under the when merged to India. That was the root cause of what the movement, the kind of agitation, the kind of rebellion happening in the state. That was the main issue, and then later on it was converted into Union Territory, and later the state. It was only received on 1972. We already know that. This way, and then later, after becoming a state, complete state, then again what happened? That the Armed Forces Special Power Act, which was applied, which was enacted only in the part of hill area, was again extended to the whole of the valley, whole of the Manipur during the 80s. So these are the issues, these are the core issues, and then what J.K. Pillai wanted to express, wanted to highlight, wanted to convey to the people is that none of the ministers, none of the MLAs, when it comes to Delhi, they never don't bother about the real issues that has been hunting here, but they ask for money and then they return back. That was the indication he wanted to show to the people, I suppose. And then you were asking about central leaders' attitude should not be like Manipur that time was a special category state when J.K. Pillai talked about this. His speech regarding coming of MLA minister to Delhi and returning back by begging money. Yeah, in other sense, it's a kind of begging money. What we refer. So, when the attitude of the ministers and MLAs in the center should not be that we are dependent. It doesn't mean that Manipur, should beg money from the state. If Manipur has been considered as a part of Indian state, then it has complete right to demand money, to ask money from the central government. The attitude of the central leadership should not be that they come here to beg money. The attitude of the Indian authority, Indian ministers or anybody in the center should be that Manipur being a part of the state and should not be left neglected, and everything that is required for development or everything that has to be done for the development of the state should be done under strict supervision or strict because when I say strict, because sometimes the state government they cannot utilize the money that center have sanctioned. This kind of things happen due to corrupt practice that is being seen in the state of Manipur. So this kind of things should be should not be Manipur should not be considered as a beggar state by the Indian state. Rather, it should consider Manipur as a state, as a very property, as a very legitimate state, as a pride state of India, because it is the second Asiatic nation to have election and then again merge to the Indian state. They should give priority to Manipur, in other words. So the attitude of the central leadership should be changed. And once, let me remind here, as an event that was organized by the Indian Army, the 57 Mountain Division here in Imphal, this terrace compound, that City Convention Hall. So at that, the donor secretary, when he come here and talked them, he told that a lot of money has been sanctioned from the donor to the state of Manipur, but as they fail to utilize the money itself come back, and then they, they don't get the next installment again. These were the words he told, and then there is some failure in the system in the Manipur government. Those days and these days, those days continuing till these days. So these things happen, and there need to be some vibrant politician, vibrant people's leader, and vibrant government here who can, convince the central government, who can, clean the system, the corrupt practice here. Whatever told, the Manipur government should be very strong to have a strong argument to the center that why you don't sanction this money to us, because Manipur as a part of the country needs more money than others. This was mentioned, this was put up by TDP MLA and then JDU MLA, not TDP, another group of MPs from political parties from Andhra Pradesh. They were asking, they are going to ask for a special category status for the state of Odisha, for the state of Andhra Pradesh, and then for the state of Bihar. They are going to ask this, put up this issue, and then during the budget time, if I think that the government will certainly announce some big package for them, and they are not begging them. It is their duty. It is their responsible. It is the responsibility of the center to sanction a huge amount of money for for development of both the three states. They don't beg. As for Manipur is more in a more difficult situation than comparing to those three states who are demanding special category status. Manipur at present is turmoil after COVID. The financial condition of almost all the citizens has increased, and then now because of the crisis, all business sector has been failed. Even 60,000 people are in a relief camp without any work, any job, and then the financial condition of the state is in the most deteriorated form, I suppose. So if situation here is known by everyone, even across the world, the crisis here has reached to United Nations and the European Union also. So people across the world have known what is the condition of Manipur at present, and the Indian government need to sanction more money for the state of Manipur, not by begging. Manipur government should not beg about it, but they should told them to sanction more money to, for the improvement of the economic condition of the state, to restore the economic condition of the state, or otherwise the state will be again, face more trouble than what has been happening before. This is this is my opinion.
Yes, Rinku, I just have one follow-up question to that. You mentioned that the central leadership should give to a state like Manipur, because we deserve so much more, and so much. The state needs a lot of development. Do you think that the funds that have been given to the state has been utilized through proper channels in all these years? Because if the amount of funds that have been dumped in Manipur, that have been given to the ministers through for all the departments in Manipur, the development level in Manipur should reflect that. Do you think that there is a huge gap in the amount of funds given and the level of development in the state of Manipur?
For example, the government of Manipur fails to utilize the money sanctioned for the MNREGS scheme. That according to Professor Singland, who is in the Manipur University, the MNREGS for the year 2023-24 is zero. Manipur cannot spend a single money in this sector, when other states like Assam or Mizoram or Nagaland are spending more money on MNREGS. So, there are some cases that Manipur government fails to utilize the money. Saying so, after the special category status of the state has been cut off, the money flow has been a little bit lesser, I think. They said that it's more, but as according to time changes, more money has been required by the government. I don't think that they have sanctioned proper money in proper time, because when you talk about, it's not about the government of Manipur. So see, whoever come to Manipur for implementation of work, for example, the NHIDCL, the one who is responsible for construction of the highway, the Imphal-Jiribam road or the Imphal-Dimapur road, they are responsible. They are constructing the road, but when we check that, even the NSIDCL is not properly utilizing the money that have been sanctioned for construction of this road. I don't think whether I don't know whether they have completed this road through paperwork or not, but in reality, on the ground, no work has been seen doing as they have promised. So when about the project or any developmental scheme here, the central government should take this state as their own. Should not consider Manipur as a colonial state or as some state from outside whom they have to help. It should be someone like they should consider this Manipur as a part of India, and then developing Manipur is also very important from the side of the government of India. The government of India is responsible for development of the national highways, the railway construction, everything. There are some things, some project or some fields that need to be done by the center, and then the center should also take strict supervision of what has been taken up here. Even the Accountant General of India, they sometimes, they audited whatever work has been done here in the state. India audited report account, many misappropriation of fund has been reflected in the Accountant General of India's report in the last 4 years. But now, most of the, reports were, now I haven't seen much of such reports in the Accountant General reports now. So there has been something seriously wrong. Whether I don't know this. As per my own view, there seems to be something seriously wrong to all the institutions of the statutory body or institution of the government. For example, this or AZ, they are independent to inquire the development work here done here, and they are responsible. They are the person who are responsible to make notice, make note, or make complaint, or make report in their statement in their audit report about the mismanagement of fund by the respective department. This has been seen. I haven't seen such such things in the last 1 or 2 years. This has to be seen, because on the ground reality we have seen many frozen projects, many projects that has not been continuing, many roads
for years.
that has,
Yes, for many years. Now moving on with our debate, I'll carry one question that was raised from Rinku to Sonamani, that regarding the perception of the central leaderships of our Manipur ministers or leaders. Regarding that, I think that a politician, leader, an elected leader should have the qualities not just of a politician but also of a diplomat and also of an administrator, also a good communicator as well, and a good decision maker. So if the leaders of Manipur had that such qualities, I think first the begging questions is removed completely, and I think the Manipur would carry a strong sense of integrity within our leaders as well. But it looks like the political system may have contributed to our leaders being such to being seen in such light. So in that regard, I'd like to ask you that has our society failed to produce quality leaders, or maybe do you think that the level of development or the quality of our society is also being reflected by the quality of the leaders that we have elected? Your thoughts?
Amrita, you have rightly pointed out, Mr. Rinku and Dr. Santi too, they have beautifully analyzed and they have highlighted. Let me also reply to you. Today I am appearing in your most highly respected and widely watched ELITETV. I am grateful that I am given an opportunity. Dr. Santi and Rinku too, we are appearing and talking before the camera today. Worldwide, those Manipuri people, some non-Manipuri people, few thousands people might be watching too. Honesty is another thing. I'm not claiming that I'm 100%, I'm honesty and I'm clean. There might be some loopholes, but not intentionally that created that loopholes. In order to appear before the public or before an important the channel like ELITETV, I must see that whether do I deserve to appear before you, or talking or analyze or post-mortem examinations, can it be done about the government, head of the government or head of the state or any other politician? Do I deserve that or not? I must see through my own mirror. When my conscience says that no, yes, you have the right, that is what I need it. So this is my humble request to all the politicians. I am not blaming all of you. If you are involved in the thickly corruption, don't think that we do not know. We know everything. Try to clean your own house and try to clean your concept and your mind. Because when we talk, we do not want to see you. We don't want to see your face. Not me alone, the hundreds and thousands people. Oh, this man, he talks so many things, what he has done it. I must tell you very clearly, government of India she is very kind enough. What the Northeast people, under so many innumerable cover, innumerable lies, innumerable way of projecting their project. I have seen very closely 12 years in the Northeast Council, including the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh when Hyderabad, when he used to hold normally the state minister. He is the chairman, or chairman is the senior most the governor out of 8 states. He used to be the chairman. But the donor minister, state minister, always used to be represented. I have seen very closely 12 years, Mr. Ibubi and some more other chief minister, I have watched them very closely by virtue of all the big people, their shadow. I have listened. If your mindset is clear, you can come up, you can speak and spell out before the so many delegates in the Northeast Council. this meeting, either in Shillong or in Delhi or in Gangtok or in Nagaland or in Manipur, is systematically there. Government of India is generous. They give fund. Nobody can deny it. Does this amount being judiciously utilized? That is the question, say. Here, what is my percentage? Rinku has already highlighted very elaborately. I'm grateful to him. He too, he had educated me, and he must educate everybody because he is an editor of an renowned newspaper. Dr. Santi, although he is far away, he is so much concerned then to the lakhs of people, million Manipuris and the Manipur people are here, who doesn't bother to talk and criticize, healthy criticism to nobody does it. Only Dr. Santi, far from here, he has highlighted. I'm grateful to all this, the worldwide people who are watching. You must know it. But where the fund goes? This is the question, see. Fund is being, in order to ask the table or to ask the government of India, there are so many departments, finance department, agriculture department, development department, this department, they have meticulously how to size up, how to tell lie, how to cover up because of the underground persistent demand, this demand. They always demand, they always quote that it may not be in the proper that underground, they might not have mentioned, but they mentioned some antisocial elements. It is not true always. This money goes to those people. That's why we have no respect to them. A person who is supposed to appear or to talk before the public, he must see in the mirror like this, what I'm going to say, what the people are watching. This man, he has borrowed everything. Whenever I go, unless I pay 20 lakhs rupees, he doesn't give me this assignment or my bill in order to release it. I must pay 50 lakhs rupees to him. Then only 1 crore rupees, then I will get it. 50 lakhs, he will get it. 50 lakhs, I get it. I have seen and I have learned many things from many of my predecessors and my colleague. Somebody also was shot down because of the money matter, this thing, that thing. Corruption is rampant, Amrita. I think it should be rooted out. It should be taught from the home. We are ashamed of by saying that we stay in Manipur when we go. Mostly, my job was outside the Northeast. I was associated with the BBIP. So, whenever they talk, they murmur about the money. In the Sasti Bhavan, there are so many people, so many big people there. ONGC's chairman, then the chairman of
just to interrupt you there,
secretary.
Sonamani, I think we seem to have lost your visual, although we can still hear your sound. Is there some way that it can be fixed? Okay, it's back on again. Oja, please take about just 1 minute now for you to complete your comments, and then we'll go to the next panelist so that we can have come to the end of the program.
Okay, thank you. So what I mean to say is, when we show our face from Manipur or from some other state, notice, "Arey bhai, these people have come here to back money." This is the only thing the people murmur, people talk it. Some people who are very closely, they also express in the Northeast, in the North Block, or in the Sasti Bhavan, or in the Agriculture Krishi Bhavan, Yojana Bhavan. They also talk it because we have become a habit. We have formed into a habit to tell lies and to get sanction from the government of India. If it is judiciously used in the Manipur, IB is here, Subsidiary Intelligence Bureau here, Special Bureau here, minute to minute program, minute to minute everything, they are sending it. You all the big people, flag collar people, you should understand it. So whatever the lies or whatever you cover up, it is not plausible or not the government of India. Government of India, they know very frankly. So I appeal in this submission to all of you and to the world people and to the Manipur leaders. Please see to it that enough is enough. You be sincere, you devote, and you try to change the Manipur system, this corruption system. You try to root out. Otherwise, we have no face to show our face to the outside world. We are ashamed of it. We are here today. I can assure you that we we tried best not to involve even taking one penny from anybody or to dodge or to bluff. Rather than the services we serve in the states, other states, we are proud to say, we are very poor people. We are very happy and we are very proudly we can say to you, you go through, you inquire it, other state what we wear. Unless our conscience is clear, we cannot speak anything. We are not blaming any one of you. This has become a system, but this system has to be changed. Otherwise, Manipuris, that our traditions, that our family, that our system, it will eat, and there will not be a name called the Manipuris, and the Manipur will be a corrupted state. Manipur, corrupted word will be added already.
Okay,
so
thank you. Yes. Okay, Pabung, thank you for your
So
points. Now I'll just carry that point
I appeal
to Oja Shantikumar, since he has not had a lot of time to speak. So I'll just let Oja Shantikumar try give a summary of the end of this program. But I'd like to ask just one question before it ends. And Oja, it's okay, you can take a few more minutes. The thing is that we have been discussing regarding the self-destruction of Manipur. So on that regard, I'd like to bring up this that, as I have also mentioned in my opening remarks, that the dismantling of institutions, that institutions such as our administration, the police, education, even the legislature, they are being dismantled day by day, and they are eroding. This is a fact. So at the same time, when this is happening, we also speak of the idea of Manipur. So there is this paradox, this contradiction that's happening here. So how can we close this paradox, this gap, and bring about a cohesive and a positive vision for the state of Manipur? What are your thoughts? Was that Shantikumar?
Oh, it's me?
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you have the closing remarks as well.
Yeah, this, of course, yeah, institutions in Manipur are all failed. Yeah, the most important law and order institution, police system, the justice system, the education system, it's all failed. And that's why we don't have law and order in Manipur. So one law in the belly and another law, or no laws at all, in the hills. So in this way, when we have this kind of different laws, it is impossible to bring the idea of Manipur, because if we like to bring the idea of Manipur, we have to have the same rules and laws everywhere inside the state.
Right.
But we don't have that, and this is also because of our leaders, it's politicians who are above these bureaucrats, who are above the police, who are above the judges. In Manipur, at least in the name of democracy, they are all controlled almost by the politicians. Who are those politicians? Those unqualified and corrupted politicians control everything, all these institutions. That's why everything is failing. So if we like to revive, if we like to bring back the rules and the laws, and if we like to revive the education system, what we should have, if we like to run every institution well, the first thing is we should elect, not select, but elect right leaders, those who are qualified. And for that, I think we should try to change the electoral rules. Of course, this may be hard because it has to be done from the central government, from the central system.
Yes, from the top.
But still, still, we, the people, have the right, the power to choose our, if not the perfect, but the best among the leaders during the election. And I think this time we proved that. And people of Manipur proved this time in the MP election, both inner and outer. So if we could do that during the MP election, why not in the assembly election, Manipuri assembly election coming up? So if we do the same system, the same same voting, if we choose the right leaders, I don't think it will be hard to bring back Manipur on the right path. And just a little bit to supplement Oja Rinku and Tamo Sonamani, I just like to supplement a little bit about the utilization of funds given by the center. Yes, I don't think those funds were utilized properly in the proper channel. No, that's why if the leaders of Manipur use those funds judiciously, rightly, of course Manipur should be signing now. It's such a small place, such a small population. Why not?
Yes, you're
because those funds were not utilized properly in the right channel. All goes in the politicians' pockets. That's why everything is failing. That's why they talk so much on the medias, on TVs, on newspapers, but what they have done almost nothing. So that is the problem. So if we like to revive our institutes, different institutes, we mission people need to elect those qualified leaders the way we did this time during the MP election. I would put this way. Amrita?
Very interesting, and thank you for your points. As we have come to the end of today's program, I'd like to wrap up what our panelists have put forward regarding the topic, the self-destruction of Manipur, that indeed there is a self-destruction of Manipur from within our own community, and it is happening from the political, economic and societal angle from all sides, and also all of the institutions being dismantled as well. So on that note, the gist that have been discussed is that there needs to be an electoral reform, and that needs to start from the top. And while we are exercising our franchise, that we need to elect able leaders that really can bring a change to our state. So on that note, I'd like to take farewell from our panelists as well. I'd like to thank Oja P. Sonamani, Oja Rinku and Oja Shantikumar for joining us today and giving us your very insightful thoughts. Thank you all once again.
Thank you very much, Amrita.
I'd also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. We will be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, this is Amrita signing off. Have a good week.